Chittick. My father, Brian, normally does these, and I normally hide him at the back of the room. But because he's buggered off to Spain, I can't do that. So I can't. So I'd just like to give a wee intro of myself. Me and my father started this at the same time last February, and we've shared it with people. No selling it's either for you or not, and that's why we start, no pressure. And we've grown into a team now of in total about 17,000 all across the world. And the beauty about that is everyone's making money who's a member. You can say that's ever happened to them. And we've changed lives literally. You'll hear a couple of testimonials at the end on Zoom. I'll let you hear, especially one person in particular who hit the rank of director, which is incredible during these times. And we'll give you a bit more about it. But I'm going to pass you on to my father. Brian, he's president of the company. He's helped thousands of people all across the world. And this is the best bit of our business. We get to help everyone. So we can. So without further ado, I'm going to put you on with the father. It's the first time I've done this, by the way, on Zoom. So this is a bit of a trial, and we'll see how we get on. But I'm going to pass the mic to my dad, and he can give the presentation. All right, guys.
Wonderful. Good evening, everybody in sunny Portadown. Yeah, we're live here from Spain. Joe's live from Greece. Alison's live in England. We've got people here from different parts of the world. And yeah, really appreciate everyone coming along this evening. For those of you who are here for the first time tonight, you're really in for a special treat because you know, we're going to share some amazing news with you about this business and this company that we've been part of for about 21 months now. And you know, it has been totally life-changing for us. It has allowed us to move out here to Spain. You know, Chris and his wife are now enjoying the fruits of the business as well, as are many of you that we will hear from later this evening. But I just want to touch on a few things before we start the presentation, because you know, more and more people are under pressure. More and more people are under not just financial pressure, but work pressure. You know, I've met quite a few people lately that are making a lot of money, but they've no quality of life. They've no life balance. They're working long hours. And, you know, really, we're here for a good time, not a long time. And I think we have to make the best of it. And certainly one of the things that we want to share with you here tonight is the opportunity to make money work for you. Because, you know, the wealthy and the elite and the super rich, money works for them. They don't work for their money. And our education system is purposely geared the way it is to make sure that we trade time for money. Money doesn't work for us. But our CEO, whom I'm going to meet in the next few weeks, thankfully, is of the belief that everyone deserves the right to financial freedom. But in a lot of cases, people don't have access to be able to make that happen because it's usually restrictive by a big entry fee or a lot of money to get started. We're going to share a business model with you here this evening that's very, very simple. I'm going to keep it very simple because effectively, you know, you can do this totally passively and it will take maybe 5 or 10 minutes a week of your time, or you can get engaged the way many of you in the room are doing this evening, and help many other people to do that as well. So I'm going to start the presentation. We will be taking questions, and then Chris is going to hear from a few people in the room that this has been very, very beneficial for us. So let me share my screen. We'll get started, and I'm going to take us through a short presentation. So we are actually part of quite a dynamic team within the business called the Power Team, and it's all about culture, community, and unity. And that's one of the things about network marketing, or as some people like to call it, one of those pyramid things, because yes, I'm not ashamed or scared to say that it is a pyramid, but it's an inverted pyramid. So please open your minds and listen to what I'm about to say, because you can actually do better than anybody else. We'll look at a visual later of the corporate pyramid, and I think when you see that, it'll make you laugh and make you realize that, yes, we're all part of something very, very different. So we're going to show you how success in the global Forex market is literally a few mouse clicks away. And some of you may or may not know what that is, but we have people even in their 80s and 90s who are now making a success of this business. So anybody can do this if you want to. And why Forex? Well, there's a number of reasons why Forex, and we'll go into that a little bit now, because basically Forex, the company have merged two major trending industries today. One is the e-learning industry, which has really came in vogue over the last 18, 20 months during the whole COVID pandemic. And more people and companies, businesses, education, they're realizing that people can work from home, they can work remotely, and that's why e-learning has grown dramatically. And we have a product in the e-learning sector for the Forex market that will actually become the first government accredited product for the industry that we'll talk about further during the presentation. But it's an industry that they reckon will be worth about 325 billion by 2025. I'd be very surprised if we're not approaching that figure right now, given the events of the last 18 months. And then we look at the money markets. And, most people are familiar with stocks and shares. The stocks and shares, Wall Street is about $20 billion a day. Then we look at equities, 190 billion a day. Futures, about 437 billion. But these totally pale into insignificance in comparison to the global Forex market, because every country in the world trades money, and they trade that 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So, it doesn't matter whether it's starting in Australia and finishing up in America, the market is running 24 hours every day during the working week. And this is the largest, most profitable, recession-proof industry in the world. And it's worth over 5.3 trillion per day. And in fact, it's now reputed to be worth well over $6 trillion a day. And for those of you that have never seen 12 zeros in your bank account like ourselves, that's what that looks like. It's 12 zeros in the bank account. And literally, to put that into perspective, before COVID wrecked the travel industry, that entire industry, encompassing every element of it, was worth about 8.8 trillion a year. So here we've got an industry worth 6 trillion a day. And it's very hard to actually comprehend the enormity of that. But needless to say, if you've ever been to Canary Wharf or Manhattan or Wall Street, you'll know that the size of those buildings, they make huge profits. They just never share it with us. So we're going to look at why CFX. And CFX started in July 2019. There's now over 28 months of consistency. They've had well over 800,000 payouts. And in fact, I think they've paid out about $800 million so far to the members. They've got a 90% plus positive trade execution. And the reason for that, a lot of people say, oh, well, do they never lose? Yes, we do. But because of a very high risk management strategy, we're only losing about 10% of our trades. And the company are now operating and have members in over 200 countries worldwide, spanning several continents. A little bit about us. We definitely have got something different and something new, very refreshing indeed. The company was founded by Huáscar Lopez, who's the CEO, and Edwin Abad. And Huáscar is a serial entrepreneur. He's a billionaire in his own right. He's a professional crypto trader. At one point was making about 1,000 Bitcoin a day. He's got a huge property portfolio, manufacturing businesses. And for me, one of the most important aspects is that he has about 10 years experience in network marketing. And that actually gave him and fueled the vision and his belief that everybody should have the right to financial freedom. And when you see the business model that they've created here, it has absolutely, it will and is revolutionizing this industry, because some of the things that they've done have never ever been done or seen before in the networking arena. Edwin is head of trading and VP of operations. He has a lot of success and a huge background, very successful background in engineering, but that helped him develop the skills required to get involved with trading. And we're looking forward to meeting him at the end of the month. The global headquarters, this is a 10,000 square foot facility that the company have purchased outright. It's on the 9th floor of the RDS Tower, and in fact, they had the grand opening ceremony on the 25th of September. So the folk in London were lucky enough to be there, but it was a huge event, and we're all looking forward to the member trips starting sometime late January. But they have an open door policy and will welcome all the members to use the facility. It will also be a great arena for the training for our academy as well. Just to give you an idea of the sort of results that we're achieving, you'll see that from January right through, we've never dropped below 20% per month for our members. So on average, we're getting around 5% per week, which is ridiculous when you compare to the institutional alternatives. Someone made a comment there recently that what we're achieving in a week would take 11.5 years to get the same return from the bank. So it's a little bit of a no-brainer when you see what we can actually get you set up for and started here. So let's look at the ways you can do this. First of all, you can literally become a customer with Bear Capital, where it's totally passive participation. You purchase a contract and the company will pay you the weekly results until you get double the contract value back. And the time frame is variable because we get different results every week, but typically that'll be somewhere between 8 to 10 months for you to double your money. And I mean, that's quite incredible, as I say, when you compare that to the institutional alternatives. Then we look at Bull Capital, which is for those who, and these are basically a play on words with the marketing, because you're either in a bear market or a bull market. So a bear market, the Bear Capital is for people that just want to make their money work. The Bull Capital is for people that want to go to work. And I know Chris and many other people are now full-time in this business. And that is thanks to the amazing reward structure that we have within CFX to give us the Bull Capital. And that encompasses fast start, uni level, matching bonus, and leadership rank bonuses. And that will actually allow you to earn an additional 2 times the contract value. And we'll look at that a little bit more closely later. The rank levels, like any structure, the more value you bring to more people, then the further up the ranks you go. And you know, we've had an amazing month with some incredible rank achievements in the last couple of weeks. We'll be hearing from some of those people on the call this evening. But literally, the more volume, the more points make prizes, prizes make ranks. So we'll look at that. So here's how this works. First of all, if you want to be just a passive customer and put your money to work, you know, if we look at the banks, savings, pensions, ISAs, credit union, premium bonds, etc., you're getting virtually zero return on your money. In fact, the banks are now moving towards negative interest. But here, if you start with a $1,000 contract and it's just pure Bear Capital, 70% of your contract goes into your trading account. And that's what you will get paid on the weekly returns until you get double the contract value, which will be $2,000. And we look at the options that you have whenever you reach that in a moment or two, but effectively you're getting double your money, and literally all you're doing is going to sleep and waking up every day and seeing that there's more money there when you get out of bed than there was when you went to bed. For those who wish to engage in the Bull Capital and sharing this with others, whether it's family members, work colleagues, etc., then you can earn an additional amount. But the other 30% is a reward. Effectively, it covers the cost of the product, but because the company makes so much money from the trading, they don't take any cost dollars from us for the product whatsoever. So half of that is actually paid out as a fast start bonus. So if I introduce someone and they take a $1,000 contract, I make $150, not just once, but every single time they upgrade or buy a new contract. The other $150 or 50% gets divided into the uni level bonus to reward the network. And we'll look at the results of that in the uni level plan. So you can effectively earn 200% on capital, bull capital, and 200 on bear capital. So you could earn up to 400%, which would be $4,000 on your $1,000 contract. This has given us a roadmap to show how if people start with $300, they can literally get their way up to a $100,000 contract over just over a 5-year period without ever introducing anyone. And it's quite remarkable, you know, that if someone starts, I remember I spoke to a lady before we came over here in September. Her son was going to university last month. And I said to her, look, most kids are coming out of university with 30 or 40 grand's worth of debt. If you started a $500 account for him today, in 5 years' time, he'll have a $100,000 account paying $3,500 a week. Now, certainly there's not many university students coming out, even with a master's degree, that will be earning $3,500 a week. So it's pretty compelling when you look at how simple this is and how quickly it can accumulate. Now we look at the uni level structure, and for those of you who are familiar with the networking environment, uni level is a very, very popular payment structure. It's very fair, and it's one that allows everybody to achieve. But I've very, very rarely seen, if any commission plan that allows you to earn 4 levels at 10% without any qualification whatsoever. And that means that if I introduce Mary and she introduces Ruth, and Ruth introduces Kay, and Kay introduces someone, we all get paid. And you get paid 4 levels without any rank advancement whatsoever. However, if you help enough people and you get up to the executive level, which in my opinion is that's the most important rank to get to, you get 100% pay rise on levels 5 and 6, and you now get 20%. The other levels for each rank, whether it's manager, director, president, ambassador, or global ambassador, go up in 5% increments right through to level 10. And the gold ranks get infinity bonuses between 1 and 2% from level 11 right through to infinity. So for example, if I introduce someone and they buy a $1,000 contract, I make $150 fast start, but in the uni level, I get 10% of the other $150, which is $15. So that's on level 1 here. If that person is in my level 5, I get $30. If they're on my level 7, I would get $7.50. And believe me, when you start to see how quickly those amounts accumulate, you can see how people can actually amass a fairly substantial sum pretty quickly. When you climb up the ranks, the company reward you right through from executive level right through to the president level. I was very fortunate to hit president in February this year. And for that, the company actually rewarded me with a brand new Porsche, which we're happily driving and enjoying the benefits of it. But it's there for everyone. We just had another member of our team qualify this week for a Porsche, and there's a few on the way as well. So, we've really got a business model here that allows everyone to start with as little as $300. You can put your money to work for you. In week 1, you will start earning. It's the first time ever in this industry I've seen a company where 100% of people involved are making money from the first week. And I've never, ever seen any business where there's no attrition, there's no monthly fees, there's no costs after you've started, apart from the fact that we pay a withdrawal fee. And we pay a withdrawal fee, which is not a revenue stream for the company, that actually pays us very handsomely, albeit that at the start it's quite an insignificant amount of money. But when you look at the congruency of every element of this commission structure, Waskar really has created something very unique. And we're only starting. In fact, the company are in the process of preparing for phase 2. So anybody that thinks it's too late, really your timing couldn't be better, because a lot of the bumps in the road have been ironed out and we're really ready for takeoff. And I can truthfully say that if you apply yourself to this, don't treat it like a hobby. I know it's only $300 to get started, but treat it like a business. There are many business owners in the room. They'll tell you the headaches and the financial struggles and stresses that it takes to run a business. We started this business last year with $300, and that has now turned over in excess of $47 million, and a team now of nearly 17,000 people, with no premises, no staff, no wages, no accounts payable or receivable, and we get paid every single week. So, you know, any business people in the room, I can assure you that you would like a little bit less stress, and we've got a way here of putting your money to work for you. So I'm going to hand it back to Chris. I'm sure we're going to hear from a few people, and I would like to recognize, sorry, just before I do that, on the call this evening, first of all, Alison, who has hosted the call, just recently qualified as manager there in the last week or 10 days. Congratulations, Alison. Maybe you'd like to share a little bit about your journey and how Cash FX has been for you, because you've been doing an amazing job over the last year or so. You've got a fabulous team in many countries, and just tell us a little bit about what it's done for you.
Absolutely, and thank you, Brian, and thank you. What a fabulous event for us all to be at here today. And as I said, I started in June last year, and to be honest, as I said, I was working on another project, and it wasn't something I was really had spent any time understanding. That was the thing. I had myself, my husband, my daughter, and my nephew. Did the family pack and left it at that. And you know, over the summer I could see that I could upgrade to the $500, and it wasn't until the November that I was speaking to a girlfriend of mine, and said, she asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, it's making me around $35 a month. And she said, why didn't you tell me about it sooner? And to be honest, I thought, oh my goodness, that means that because I had no intention of sharing it, it meant that I felt responsible. But once she had come on and she started, and then my good friend Joyce came on, who is on the call tonight, and she started, and you know, there was about seven people that came on. And really, so it's only been a year that I've worked with this. I became executive in March, and as I said, I've just turned manager last week. Joyce, who's on the call here, is an executive, and I know she won't mind me saying, and Shola, I know you won't mind me saying, but Joyce's husband, 10 months she was telling him about it, and he finally came on and listened to it and has absolutely been blown away by it. So, and as Brian said, this isn't too late, it's just the beginning for all of us. Another great friend of mine, Bill, who's on here, who's built a massive organization. Really, you know, great congratulations to him as well. He was the first executive, and he did it really quickly, far quicker than me. And as I said, it's open to all of us. That's what I think is really great. And all the rest of my team, you know, we will work very well together. And as I said, it's a community as much as anything else. And it's really, it's absolutely revolutionized my life. So Just one thing I want to say as well, for anybody, as soon as they have purchased a trade pack, if you look under the trade port, it will tell you the day you will start to make money. For me, that is the biggest thing. And based on the historical data, we know roughly what it's going to be. I mean, how fabulous is that? So thank you there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like 1% a day, when you consider that the banks are giving us anything between 1.25% per year. It seems quite ridiculous. And I mean, a lot of people say it sounds too good to be true, Alice. And my immediate retort to that is that a good enough reason not to look? Because, you know, these sort of returns seem extraordinary because we're not used to them. But yet, you know, we've got people in our team who are bankers, who have worked in finance and in the wealth management, and the returns that the banks are making is almost criminal.
Absolutely.
So when you actually analyze the returns that Cash FX are giving us, it's 5% per week, including return of capital. So because of the risk management strategy we have, that is so sustainable because it's actually a very, very small percentage. And I know that we have several traders on here, and they will tell you that, you know, regularly they make maybe 10 or 15% in a day, 20% in a day, but that's not sustainable long term. So here we've got a business model that over time, you know, who can't afford to do this? I say, what if you don't do this? What if, where would you be sitting today if you didn't do this a year ago?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, and for the sake of $300, you would spend more than a night out or a weekend away. So
absolutely,
it really is too compelling, in my opinion, not to at least give it a go. And thank you very much, Alison, and continued success to you.
Oh, thank you there. Thank you there.
I'm also going to invite all the way from, I don't even know which island he's in at the minute, but he's in part of Greece somewhere. Our latest director, Joe McAvoy. Joe has literally been with us. He joined me personally, he sponsored him in February last year. And Joe, maybe you'd like to unmute yourself and come on and share your story with us there as well, please, because congratulations, you've just hit the rank of director. A lot of hard work, helped a lot of people, and president's just round the corner for you and several others as well. So Joe, over to yourself.
Thank you, Brian. As you know, I'm not very good at speaking. So I'll explain this. Basically, I'll tell people my story. In 2019, I was in a situation where I was looking after my mother who had dementia. I had to put her into a home in December 2019, and I hadn't the money to pay for it. In January 2020, I had another venture that I was in, and I was scammed out of about £120,000. So I lost everything. There was then later on in the year, a judge took everything off me and I lost everything. But when Brian showed this to me on the 27th of February, 2020, I could see immediately that this was going to make money. And when the pandemic, as I call it, started, I focused not on making these thousands of pounds a week. My goal was I could see that people were going to need extra money. And my goal was to help as many people as possible to earn just $100 a month. Because I knew that could be the difference of somebody heating or eating. And it has proven itself. I showed it to the reason Brian and I have been successful, and I'll be blunt about this, we've had more no's than yeses. We've had more rejections. We've had people laughing, it's one of them pyramid things. I've seen it all before. Who's laughing now? I had a guy say to me, it's one of them pyramid things, Ponzi things. I said, no. I said, it's called MLM. It's called multi-level marketing. And multi-level marketing makes more money worldwide than the music industry and the film industry put together. You don't know what you're talking about. And I said, when you're in multi-level marketing, there's another MLM. It makes learning magical. And that's what we're offering people. We're offering a learning thing that you can learn, not only Forex, but learn to expand and grow yourself. And when you do that, you can make loads of money. And when you make loads of money, it makes life meaningful. I have a lifestyle now that most millionaires don't have. I have been in Greece from the 2nd of June, and I've been on 22 islands. I'm now in Rhodes. Today, I was with an estate agent looking at a couple of apartments. And the estate agent said to me, what do you work at? What do you do? And I said, what I do is I show people how to make money as they sleep. And she sort of laughed and she goes, right. And what does that involve? And I said, what I do is I teach people how to help other people to teach people. And she goes, right. And then the next question was, I said, why would you want to make money as you sleep? And it's she goes, well, why are you asking that? I said, well, if your why doesn't make you cry, you will not try. I said, I've told you my story, how I got to here. My why made me cry, so there was no try, it was do it. So I said, why would you want to do it? And she said, well, I would want to travel and buy property. And I nodded at her and I said, what have I done? In 21 months, I have traveled and I'm now looking at an apartment to buy here in Rhodes because I've been here 3 times this year and I'm beginning to like the place. And it gets a bit boring. So that's my story. And the thing about it is, I want to say personally to all my team, thank you. We don't work as a me team, we work as a we team. I'm only a lorry driver. There's nothing special about me. And I know that there is people looking at this in the room tonight and online who have far more capability of doing far more than I have done. But the thing that I done, I had the why and the focus to stay at it. Anybody can do it. And it's one of the only multi-level marketing companies where you make money from week 1 without ever having to do anything. So I say to people, I need people, but I don't need everyone. When I say to people, I make money while they sleep, I wait for the answer. If they don't answer, I tell them nothing more. And that's basically my story.
Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you couldn't, you couldn't have done any better than that, and well deserved. You're getting a round of applause there from the audience because I know there's people in the room. We've all had similar experiences, and the only reason that we've been successful is that we had a big why, we're no different than anybody else. We just stuck to it. We don't let the negativity or anything else get in our way, and we've helped a lot of people. I'm going to ask Chris if he would turn his phone on because the sound's not good away from the computer, and maybe get 1 or 2 people in the room just for the benefit of everybody there. And if you're new here, it's great to see other people that you can identify with, because this is not pie in the sky. This is real. I got a phone call from a guy today who had sworn that he would never touch anything in this industry again. He had been badly bitten and burnt. I found out that he joined CFX about 10 days ago. I don't even know whether he's in my team or not, but I said, well done. And he said, well, if I know you're in it, he says, I know it's okay. And I'm going to do something with it. So Chris, maybe you would turn your phone on, and who would like to be first up to say a few words?
Let me in.
Who would you like to get volunteered?
I'm gonna, because I know he's good and he likes to be put in the spot. Right here.
Who?
Here.
All right. Get him to hold your phone, Will. Okay.
Oh, check.
All right. There's an echo.
Yeah. Sorry, we need to turn the computer off.
It's not gonna work.
Chris, turn the sound off on the laptop there, just maybe.
Is that better? God, isn't it class to listen to myself?
Signed off.
There you go.
You
The
do the
wonders of
alteration.
technology.
Oh goodness, how do you do it from here?
It has to be on the. No.
I mean, that's a bit better. Can you hear me?
Something
Yes,
on
that's
the-
far
Is that right? But I'm not down, I don't know.
better. Right. Okay. So, hi, folks. Apologies. This is not necessarily working as well as it should be. I wonder if that will help a bit. I knew these would turn useful for something. You know. So let's see if this helps at all. Right. So, totally unaided, I have joined this as I thought it was a con about, what, 18 months ago. And I told Joe, go away and boil your head for a day or two. And I'm now talking in Braille, so that looks good, right? So Joe McAvoy brought me into the product. I thought it was a decent enough product at the time, but was a little bit skeptical. If you're hearing me, that's brilliant. If you can't, I really don't know what to say. Suffice to say, I've been in the product now a year and 18 months. I'm not working it hard, to be truthful, but some good people in the room who are friends of mine have really took it up and run it really, really well, and are doing exceptionally well. And as a result, I'm doing exceptionally well. And I always have to say to folks, my process, because I am quite constantly skeptical, is I say to folks, put your few pounds in, then take your money out over the first 40 weeks. Once your money's out after the first 40 weeks, you leave the rest of the money to sit there and gain its profits. And that means that if anything ever went wrong, which there's no evidence that there could be, but you always have to be proactively protective. If anything ever went wrong, your original capital is back in your hand. So that was my take on the thing. And I have to be ultra cautious whenever I'm recommending it to people, because I'm from the financial world, and therefore I have to caveat so many things by saying this is a personal opinion and this is not a regulated product. So you have to look after yourselves. And apologies for laboring that point, but because I'm well known in the industry, I have to really, really hammer it home. But suffice to say, thank you, Joe, for putting me into it. Thank you for bending my ear. I did take a few skin grafts and got them back eventually. But the net result is it was well worthwhile, and fair play to you. And thank you, Mr. Chittick, because you know what you're talking about. And that is one size of a glass for a mouth that size. Well done.
Thank you very much, Kieran. I'm going to put you on to Mr. Ranked Executive, Mr. Malky Delvin. All yours.
Good man. Hello, Malky. Long time no see.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Very well, sir. Very well.
Good. No, I got involved in this business from 13th of January. My day-to-day job is I work with engineering. I'm an engineer and employ 40 people or so. But when I realised what I had got into here, I found less headaches, less investment, totally in control of what I wanted to do, rather than being told by the workforce or whatever what they want me to do. So, I joined this on the 13th of January. I talked to a few people about it, shared it with them, and it's just magic the way this happens. This Saturday coming, I will be going into 30,000 starting from January. All I done was talk to a few people, and that's nothing more than that. Just showing to Bernard when I was sitting here, my phone rings and got 39.50 sitting at the meeting here on the Matrix. You can't beat that. So really, that's my story. It's a fantastic business. Just get involved, regardless whether it's 300, 500, just get involved. That's my story.
Fantastic. Well done. You joined on my birthday, Malky. So.
And the next person that we've got lined up is Mr. Stephen Gilmore, because he likes having the stage to himself at times.
I'm glad to see he's back to form anyway. How you doing, Stephen?
Back at it. No, well, I've been in this business from, it'll be February will be 2 years. I put $300 in it and looked at it. Very skeptical at the start, like most people. I've seen so many things, and most of them, as Brian can soon tell you, doesn't work. Well, they work for a while, and then you end up losing a lot of money. But as Brian says, we've kissed a few frogs in our day. But no, well, the middle of last year, I put $26,000 in it. That's how confident I was in it. So I've now turned that into, it's sitting at $185,000 is what my contracts are sitting at, because I've used a family pack of 8 accounts underneath me. So as you take them out, it benefits you even better by all the commissions. So I'm sitting now in a place that's given me anything between over $8,000 out a week. And I've taken all my money out of it. I have used it and I bought a brand new van. I'm in the process of trying to sell the business to come into this full time, because I've made more money in about just under a year with this business than I've made maybe nearly 5 years in my own business. So why would I want to run a business that has headaches and causes me grief most days, when I can go into something that I can run at a time that suits me? So, and there's the team that I have underneath me, not massively big, but it's helped me. I'm 60% to getting to manager at the minute. So I just have to get one more executive underneath me, and I'll be manager very soon, I would think.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, the only thing I'll say to you, Stephen, is don't be telling everybody how well you're doing, or they might want to buy your business.
I'll get the computer lined up, the volume's down there.
Yeah. Chris, I think Joy's online and would like to say a few words before you introduce the next speaker.
Yep, no problem. No problem.
Joy,
If
would
Joy
you like
wants
to
to
unmute yourself?
Yes, I have. Thank you very much, Brian.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. I joined CFX on the 25th of November under Alison, who's just spoken. And by the 28th, I saw money coming in. That was very unusual for me. I had been in internet marketing. Prior to that, I'd lost about £45,000, but I wasn't going to give up. And when Alison, who was my coach in another program, told me about CFX, I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to give up. And I know you're not going to introduce me to something that will be good for me. Now, almost a year on, I'm now an executive. I did start by introducing members of my family, and I actually took control of the accounts because they just didn't want to know. As you heard Alison say, 10 months on, my husband decided, sorry, as something serious, and he started to invest heavily. Now, I'm taking this opportunity to speak. I'd like to say to you that I am disabled. I'm a double amputee. I got 7 fingers amputated as well, and I am doing this. So I'd like to encourage everybody, if I can do it, if you're able-bodied, you can do it, and you could do much better than me. Thank you.
Joyce, that's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. You know, and that just brings home what we have here for anyone. It doesn't matter, you know, what age, what breed, creed, nationality, anything. We've got something here that can unite everybody and give them financial freedom. And absolutely incredible, fantastic. And I'm delighted your husband is supporting you in the venture now, because let me tell you, over time, there will be no one will be able to refuse or dispute what we've got here. We just need to share it with more people. But thank you very, very much for that. That's incredible. So thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Brian.
Follow that, Chris.
Who's on? We can't hear.
Chris, you're muted.
Is that it?
That's
Can you hear me?
better.
Okay. I think we've got everybody. It's
Yeah,
probably-
no. Just in case the ones you. Hold on. Can you all hear me on Zoom? Yeah.
Might need
We
to
can
turn
hear
the
you.
phone off or mute the
Yeah.
phone.
Can you hear me on Zoom as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just talk a wee bit louder. Sorry about your ears. My background was always retail, and I was always sales manager, and then we had our own shops at golf clubs. We had 5 all across the country, so stocking them, and we supplied other pro shops. But the headache of staffing it, stocking it, all your rent, all your rates was an absolute nightmare. And whenever you look at it net, you have to wonder, is it worth your while? We've always been doing opportunities like this. Some have worked, some haven't, but you always learn something even when you lose. And that is the most important thing to keep going on and on and on, never stopping. And since we've done this has just given me choices. And the only way it's done that is by helping people like Stephen and the team, Ruth, the help of my dad, everyone. Like, I haven't got to the rank of director without me putting the emphasis on my team. That goes against everything that you only get in corporate, as opposed to dog eat dog and fighting for sales. All we want to do is put the focus on everyone else that joins. If we do that, that's our job done. We don't need to worry about us. And we're here for support. Like, there's people that I work with, and I'll be honest, I don't get anything, money, not that I'm doing for that, because I get paid well enough with CFX. But that's what this gives you. You can do, you've got choices, you've got freedom. And I think everyone would all like to swap a wee bit of time for money for time, because everyone's working into the ground. And like, we understand that this is quite a simple presentation. It's not more in depth, but I think that's good, because whenever you're just starting, you want the basics. But all I would say to you is, you've heard testimonials, there's thousands of them across the world. But my biggest tip is, just start. Doesn't matter if it's 300, if it's 1,000, if it's 10,000, doesn't matter. Just to start, see it working. Once you see it working, then you've got the choice. But one thing I will guarantee you from everyone who's a member is you'll have the support whenever you need it. Because if we don't look after you, as I keep saying, we're not going to do that. So I can't stress that enough. And I'm going to open the floor up now, because you're probably sitting there and it's like I'm feeding you through a hose pipe with the water. So I can understand if you want to ask some questions. So feel free. CJ?
May I come up?
Yeah, of course, stage all yours. Just talk quite close to the computer so we can hear. You heard all that okay? Yeah, Dad?
How are you?
We can hear it. Hi, CJ.
How are you? You're actually up there with that tan. You just didn't wash.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, my name is CJ and I'm from Dublin. I drove up here. It's my 3rd time coming up here, and it's absolutely fantastic to see such a great crowd. I joined this company back in July 2020, the 7th. And because of Brian and Chris, I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for them. And I hadn't a clue how to use a computer. I didn't know what a pack was. I didn't know about anything. But I knew if I struck with it, something would happen, and it did. So I started off with 3 accounts, okay? 1 for 2,000 and 2 for 500. I'm 16 months in the business now, and my first account went to 40 grand last Saturday, and I have a 10 grand account and a 5 grand account. So believe me, I didn't think this thing was going to work, and it has because I'm sharing the concept of what the business is about. We're not selling anything here, we're just sharing the concept that CashFX works and it changes people's lives. And believe me, I lost everything, millions. I had 30 properties taken off. I lost a lot. And to be brought down here and now all of a sudden, Brian and Chris have taught me about CFX and the benefits of just sharing it and making sure that everybody on your team gets what they want. And believe me, it's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ.
Absolutely. Do you remember I spoke about that graphic earlier, Chris? I'm just going to show it for a wee second while you're lining somebody else up.
Yeah.
This is the corporate flow chart, guys. So the CEO sits at the top, and then you have the executives, and then the managers, and then everybody else. So when the guy on the top looks down, all he sees is SH1T. And when the guys at the bottom look up, the only thing they see are assholes. That's the corporate world for you. Our pyramid's the other way around, and there's no SH1T and there's no assholes. So there you go.
Yeah. It's very funny, but also very true, and not funny at the same time. But one of those ones. But listen, no.
Just thought I would lighten the evening a wee bit with that one. So there you go.
Yes, certainly done that. So you did. Has anyone any questions? Because it is a lot to take in, and don't be expected to learn it all at once. Whoever invited you, just after this, if you want to know more about it, speak to whoever invited you. And like in all the groups, we are always accessible. After the meeting, we can stay for questions and a wee coffee to learn more. But has anyone? You just answered it for me. There's a risk walking out of the door and getting hit by a bus. So there is, but that's why you can start at such a small amount. At $300, I think everyone, not that we would want to, but I think everyone could afford to lose $300. And $300, trust me, from my own experience and my father's, that's turned into I'm on a 100K pack and earning $3,500 every week, possibly. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm never going to stop because I want to help as many people as I can. But yes, there is risk, but the way this is set up, it's so minimal. So it is, and that's why we always say just to start, even if it's 300. Because then once you see it working, like we had a guy in Nigeria and he started at 500 just to shut the guy up who was introducing him. That's no word of a lie, because I remember Dad gave me the call on Monday and the guy, keep in touch and just always regular, how's your pack doing? The boy forgot about it. So he logged into his account and he seen it and it was almost pretty much double his money. Now, I'm not saying that everyone to do this, but this is what he done. He went from $500 to $50,000. I got a nice commission. Fella got $1,800 in that. And fella got $750. Mum got $750 and didn't even know. That's the beauty of what this brings you. And you don't need to meet like all the I have 2,000 people in my team. I reckon I've met maybe 100, maybe I would say maybe not more than that. But through that, it's led to people and meeting everyone for new experiences, which that's the best thing this business gives. So yes, there is risk, but when you look at it, when you step on that other side of fear, and when you at least you can do, like my team, I've produced over 6 million since last February in my team, and that was through the heart of the pandemic. There's not too many businesses that start up during that, and actually have done maybe not even half as well or a tenth as well as that. But I can only speak for myself and my father and other people in the room that if we didn't do it, we would have been in the hole. That's all I can say to you. And it's changed my life and my wife's life, my mum and dad's life, and everyone else in the room who's also reaping the rewards. So hopefully that answers you a wee bit.
The risk with this is about the same as your kids' football team beating Man United or Liverpool at Anfield or Old Trafford.
Maybe use Man United at the minute. It's a bad example.
Well,
Man City or something like that.
Could I just say something, Brian? You're talking about risk. I started with $300.
Yeah.
And next weekend coming, that $300 will be getting into a $100,000 pack.
Yeah.
I earned this week more in 1 week than most people earn in a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that is fact. I don't believe in these people saying, oh, I get this, that, and anybody that comes to me and says, oh, it's one of them things, convince me, try and sell it to me. I be quite straight and blunt with people. I said, this is not a selling business. I need people, but I don't need everyone. This is a teaching business. We are teaching people to teach people to teach people. If somebody comes to me with a negative at all, I just say to them, be straight and honest with you, I don't think it's for you.
It's not about
Because
convincing anybody.
realistically,
You're right.
the way I put it like this, if you owned a shop and I went into your shop and started to criticize your business, oh, that's not right, and that's not right, and this is not right, you'd throw me out. It's exactly the same thing. This is, and if you treat it like a $3 million business, not a $300 business, you will get the benefits out of it. As I say, the most important thing, it's not the money that is bought. We can all get money, but it has bought me time. I have the time to do whatever I want. When I get out of bed at 12 o'clock, and I do say 12 o'clock in the day, I used to get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning to drive a lorry. The only time I get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning now is to go to the toilet or catch a flight. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford $300 and you have it, but the most important thing is the why. Why do you want to do this? So if somebody's sitting there, oh, convince me. We don't need to convince you. We don't need everybody. That's all.
Yeah.
Have a nice night. I know I am. I'm sitting in 23 centigrade. Is it cold in Ireland?
Brilliant. Thanks, Joe. And listen, thank you everyone for attending tonight. This has been a very interesting and exciting situation, and I've certainly enjoyed it. I'm more than happy to do it again, and thank you for Alison and all of your team and the support that everybody has given it. It's not perfect, but then it's just like us. We're perfectly imperfect. Nothing in life is. If you wait until something's perfect, you'll be waiting a long time. And as I say, just do it. This business, just do it. What if you don't do it, and next year you see your friend and they're sitting driving a new Porsche or living in Greece or whatever it is? It doesn't matter. But you can help a lot of people. So thank you. We're going to say goodnight from not so sunny Spain at this time of the night, but it's certainly a pleasure to be here, and we wouldn't be here without everybody in the business. Over to you, Chris, and good night, Alison. Good night, everybody.
Well, thank you, Brian, as well, and thank you for all the attendees, for people in the room, and special shout out for my team as well, because without them, I certainly couldn't be a manager. And for Chris and for Ruth for organising. Was it last week? I think Ruth said to me about putting this together, and here we are. Just do it. So thank you all very much.
Fantastic. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone on Zoom.